Sunday the 15th of June 2003, and a crowd of onlookers gathered on Pepper Road, Hunslet, to witness a ceremony to mark the history of the Man's Patent Steam Cart and Wagon Company Limited. A collaboration between the Leeds Civic Trust and the Leeds and District Traction Engine Club had brought about this event to place a blue wall plaque on the Man's Works building. In attendance were two examples of Man's products: a 5-ton steam tractor, number 1325 of 1918, owned by John Phillips, and a 1919 MAN agricultural tractor, number 1386, owned by Roy Wakefield from County Durham. The Lord Mayor of Leeds, Councillor Neil Taggart, was to perform the unveiling in the presence of John Richards, the Leeds Civic Trust Chairman, Derek Rayner, President of the Leeds and District Traction Engine Club, invited guests, and a small gathering of interested people.
Being here this afternoon and arriving at this particular site really takes me back, because I just inhale, and it reminds me of my childhood in Birmingham. Because I was born just a few yards really from the locomotive depot at Tyseley in Birmingham. This is a railway locomotive, not a road locomotive, which of course is now a steam museum and workshops. But the aroma is exactly the same, and it really does take me back. And I had a particular interest in railways, as little boys did in those days. And actually, of someone living far away in the Midlands, Hunslet meant as much to me as it did as did Leeds, because even as a lad, me and my mates knew that Hunslet was a really important engineering part of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm now going to retreat to the wall there and unveil this historic plaque. Thank you very much.
Man's Patent Steam Cart and Wagon Company Limited moved to the Pepper Road site at the turn of the 20th century. Here the extensive workshops turned out their distinctive vehicles. They manufactured steam tractors, rollers, steam carts and wagons. The company ceased trading in 1929, and only a few examples of their products have survived. After the plaque unveiling on the Man's building, the Lord Mayor and the Chairman of the Leeds Civic Trust then accompanied Derek Rayner on to the location of a second blue plaque commemorating the site of the Yorkshire Patent Steam Wagon Company. In attendance was this 2-ton Yorkshire wagon of 1905, owned by John Ward. The transverse boiler mounting was a distinctive feature of the Yorkshire wagons.
I'm so glad that the weather's still good and that so many have come around. And what a marvellous engine we've got in front of us. It's a real surprise. I'm told this is kept at Upper Denby in West Yorkshire, and it's in fantastic condition, and I think was rescued in the 1970s. So well done to whoever was responsible. But once again, it gives me great pleasure to unveil a blue plaque in Hunslet today.
After the obligatory photographs, Derek Rayner expressed his thanks to everyone involved.
It's a great pleasure that I have today in being able to say thank you in the first instance to the Lord Mayor for coming along. Thank you for the Civic Trust in providing these plaques on the wall. And also, before we go much further, thank you to the 3 steam engine owners who brought the machines today. John Ward, who's on my right, who's brought the little Yorkshire wagon from Upper Denby. The 2 we saw earlier, Roy Wakefield from County Durham, and also John Phillips and family from Anglesey and from Shropshire. It is the 40th anniversary this year of the Leeds District Traction Engine Club. We have just published a book of archive photographs, which is a collection of photographs put together from the club's extensive collection, and I'd like to take this opportunity in the first instance of presenting a copy of that book to the Lord Mayor and also to the Chairman of the Civic Trust.
Derek then explained more about the two companies and their products.
We've just seen the Man's building down there. It's very much similar to what it was in 1929 when Man's Patent Steam Cart and Wagon Company folded. Man's started as Mann and Charlesworth on Canning Street off Dewsbury Road, and they moved in 1900-1901 to the new building down there, just as the new type of steam cart or steam lorry was coming into its own. It's interesting that they started in the Hunslet half-square mile, as indeed did Yorkshire. Yorkshire started as the Yorkshire Steam Motor Company on Ingham Street in Hunslet, which is just across Hunslet Road from where Fowler's were. Both of those firms migrated into larger premises because they needed the facility of larger works to cope with the demand. As time went on, Yorkshire, who started life with this rather unusual transverse boiler, that was the feature of all the steam wagons that they built right the way through up to the 1920s. Yorkshire's continued as Yorkshire Patent Steam Wagon Company up to the early 1970s, whereas Man's unfortunately fell by the wayside in 1929. And we do have a representative here, Mr. Chris Riddell, who I'd like to welcome on board.
It was my great good fortune and privilege to work for this company for some 17 years. I started and ran my business as a practical engineer in the tool room, and then I progressed through service and sales and drawing office to running the factory and managing the production. Yorkshire was an extremely innovative company. I often think that as a young man, I had extraordinarily good fortune in being able to be so inventive and have the facilities of a sophisticated engineering company at my disposal. My father was, in fact, manager and managing director here for some 40 years until we sold in 71. And his concern was in design, really. That was what was his real passion. So the rest of the factory was a bit shabby in parts, and things weren't always very well managed. It was my job, with some difficulty at times, to sort of tidy the place up and get the records right and make sure that we didn't buy too much of the wrong things and we made everything more or less at the right time. And I'm pleased to say we managed to get most people on my side, and the factory prospered so that when we sold it in 71, it had something like 71% of its market in the UK, and we were selling all over the world. At the end of that, we had in fact really redesigned the gully emptier business and the suction tanker business, with building tanks to 3,500 gallons capacity and things like that. And we also were very innovative in the suction sweeper. Lake had started it, but we spotted the shortcomings in their design and introduced the independent engine and other features, all of which proved to be very beneficial. And as I said, I felt myself extraordinarily fortunate in this regard. But none of us could have really succeeded without the support of a large number of local people who were staffed us in both the factory and the offices, and I'm pleased to see one or two here today. And I think the success of Yorkshire Patent is very much due to everybody in Hunslet and in Leeds. And I would like to thank you, my Lord Mayor, very much indeed for unveiling this plaque today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. One further thing before I close. I would like to say, on behalf of the Traction Engine Club, thank you indeed indeed to representatives of the Road Locomotive Society, the National Traction Engine Trust, the Road Roller Association, other steam clubs who have come along on the day, and all of whom who have actually paid money given donations to the Leeds District Traction Engine Club to enable the two plaques to be provided and mounted on the wall today.
Another photo opportunity. Then the visitors moved on to inspect examples of the firm's products on display at the top of the site.
Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
You would want to mix it, so I just thought I'd mention it.
Robert Midgley owns this part machine. We'll say hello. This is Robert Midgley.
I know the name Robert Midgley.
And he's
Neil Taggart. I know your name.
Robert Fortin.
One just coming under.
Yes.
These are actually bits of man wagon belonging to somebody else.
Yes.
Has loaned them to bring along today. These were actually dug out of an open press.
Okay.
Whilst enjoying refreshments, interested visitors could view a fascinating display of archive photographs illustrating Man's and Yorkshire's products. Traction Engine Club members were selling copies of their book of archive photographs. The event had gone well, and some weeks later a letter from the Leeds Civic Trust described the event as an excellent and most enjoyable occasion.